just got on the Market Street subway at 11th Street in Philadelphia.
Next stop, 13th Street. A wheelchair accessible station.
You heard it, 13th Street.
To trolley routes 10, 11, 13, 34, 36, and sector customer service. 13th Street Station.
They've lifted the capacity restrictions on these cars, so now I can stand right up at the front window, thank goodness.
Doors are closing.
This system has broad gauge, it's like over 5-foot gauge with underrunning third rail.
Next stop, 15th Street. A wheelchair accessible station with sector suburban stations and regional rail lines, City Hall, Tilworth Park, and free interchange for the Broad Street line. For safety, do not walk between cars. The doors are for emergency use only. Thank you. 15th Street Station.
Here we're right around City Hall here. You can transfer to the Broad Street subway. Stations are pretty close together.
Doors are opening.
Downtown up to this point.
69th Street train making all stops.
Next stop is 15 blocks away, 30th Street. But you'll see a couple of trolley stations on the side. The trolley line shares the right-of-way between here
Doors are closing.
and just west of 30th Street.
Next stop, 30th Street. A wheelchair accessible station where Amtrak 30th Street Station, sector regional rail lines, and free interchange to trolley routes 10, 11, 32, 34, and 36.
Second Street. Those are trolley stops. We're going under the Schuylkill River right here.
Doors are open. Next stop, 34th Street. Exit for University City, Drexel University, and the University of Pennsylvania. Yeah, the trolley lines struck off. They went off in their separate ways. Trolley lines are the 10, 11, 13, 34, 36. 69th Street train making all stops. Doors are closing. Next stop, 40th Street.
When the trolley cars have delays and broken down issues in the tunnel, they run on the surface and they terminate above here, and passengers can transfer to the Market Street subway at this point.
46th Street, wheelchair accessible station for routes 31 and 64.
Okay, we're out in the open the rest of the way. Right off to the left here is where the studio for the American Bandstand used to be, that hosted Dick Clark's American Bandstand. It's the building right on the left here.
Forty-sixth Street Station. Doors are opening. 69th Street train making all stops. Doors are closing.
For the rest of the way in the city of Philadelphia, this line takes on the characteristic of elevated subway lines in New York City.
Next stop, 52nd Street, a wheelchair accessible station for routes 31 and 52. Your safety, do not walk between cars. The end doors are for emergency use only. Thank you. Street Station. Doors are opening. 69th Street train making all stops.
52nd Street. There used to be a station on the Paoli line called 52nd Street, but that's abandoned.
Next stop, 56th Street, a wheelchair accessible station for routes 31 and G. Street Station. Doors are opening. 69th Street train making all stops. Doors are closing. a wheelchair accessible station for routes 31 and 46. Street Station.
I believe these are AdTrans cars put in service about 30 years ago. They replaced the Bud-built Almond Joy cars, which were non-air conditioned. Not very nice to ride in the summertime.
Doors are opening. 69th Street train making all stop. Doors are closing. Next stop, 63rd Street, a wheelchair accessible station for routes 21 and 31. Are opening. 69th Street train making all stops. Doors are closing.
Now after here, we come out of the city of Philadelphia and into Delaware County for Milbourne and Upper Darby 69th Street. And we come off the elevated structure.
Next stop, Milbourne, a wheelchair accessible station. Station.
And you can see the cars we're riding on the other track. They have humps like the old Almond Joy cars, but at least they're air conditioned.
Doors are opening. 69th Street train making all stops. Doors are closing. Next and last stop, 69th Street Transportation Center, a wheelchair accessible station for Norristown High-Speed Line and bus and trolley routes serving Delaware, Chester, and Montgomery counties and the Philadelphia Airport.
You can get a good look at the underrunning third rail, Metro North style, or should I say New York Central style. And we're coming to 69th Street, which is the last stop where you can connect to the Norristown high-speed line and the 101 and 102 trolleys. Years ago, you could connect to Lehigh Valley Transit and go to Allentown, Pennsylvania, until like 1951.
69th Street Transportation Center. Last stop.
after he drops his passengers off, he'll go around a loop and go back east again. You can see some going around the loop right now. Okay, we're departing 69th Street Upper Darby, heading east through Philadelphia. See how far I can film this line.
Seating restrictions have been lifted, but face masks and face coverings are still required. Bill Warren, next up.
Got a very friendly operator on this train. Goes all the way to Frankfurt, northeast of Philadelphia downtown.
Onboard station. Doors are opening. Frankfurt train making all stops. Doors are closing. Next stop, 63rd Street, a wheelchair accessible station for routes 21 and 31.
Okay, we're coming back into the city of Philadelphia. It's a nice
Frankfurt train making all stops. Doors are closed.
nice sunny day, 90 degrees, but the humidity isn't too terrible.
Next stop, 60th Street, a wheelchair accessible station for routes 31 and 46.
There you can notice the noteworthy Philadelphia row houses, unique to Philadelphia.
Street Station.
There you can see the skyline of Philadelphia standing mightily in the distance.
Street Station. Doors are open. Frankfurt train making all stops. Doors are closing. Next stop, 52nd Street, a wheelchair accessible station for routes 31 and 52. 52nd Street Station. Doors are closing. Next stop, 46th Street, a wheelchair accessible station for routes 31 and 64.
Attention passengers, absolutely no smoking on a train. Once again, it's absolutely no smoking on a train. It's rule, it's illegal. People who don't smoke don't want to smell your smoke.
No, I
What is
don't.
it?
How inconsiderate.
Next stop, 40th Street, for routes 30, 40, diverted trolley routes, and Presbyterian Medical Center.
Okay, we're diving down into the tunnel again. We just passed Dick Clark's old joint on the right. This is where you can connect to the trolleys on the surface when the subway surface trolley tunnel is all messed up.
Doors are opening. Frankford train making all stops. Doors are closing. Next stop, 34th Street. Exit 51st Street. station. Doors are opening. Frankford train making all stops. Doors are closing. Next stop, 30th Street, a wheelchair accessible station for Amtrak 30th Street Station, Sector Regional Railroad, and free interchange trolley. Station.
Here we join up with the trolleys. They're on the outer edges of the stop. Inbound on the right and outbound on the extreme left, out of sight.
Doors are opening. Frankfurt train making all stops. Doors are closing.
And here we start to dive down
Next
under the
stop,
schuylkill.
15th Street, a wheelchair accessible station, receptive suburban station, and regional rail lines, City Hall, Tilworth Park, and Blue Interchange for the Broad Street Line. Do not walk between cars. Leave doors for emergencies. Thank you.
Second Street trolley only station. Street trolley station. We're overtaking one. And from here, the rest of the way downtown onto Market Street, the stations are pretty close together.
Doors are closing. Next stop, 13th Street, a wheelchair accessible station for free interchange to trolley lines 10, 11, 13, 34, 36. Accept customer service. 13th Street Station. Doors are open. Frankfurt train making all stops. Doors are closing. stop, 11th Street. Sector Jefferson Station, Regional Rail Lines, Pennsylvania Convention Center, and Reading Terminal Market. 11th Street Station.
I could spit from one station to this.
Doors are open.
This station served the old Reading
Frankford
Terminal.
train making all stops.
Took this here many times years ago to catch Reading Company trains out of the terminal.
Doors are closing. Next stop, 8th Street. Wheelchair accessible station for the Broad Ridge Spur, the Platform Crossing Line, and the Fashion District. Street Station.
Yeah, this is where you connect to the Patco and the Broad Street Ridge Spur subway.
Doors are opening. Frankford train making all stops. Doors are closing. Next stop, 5th Street, Independence Hall. Wheelchair accessible station for Independence National Historical Park and National Museum of American Jewish History. Order safety. Do not walk between cars. Making doors are for emergencies only. Thank you. 5th Street Station, Independence Hall. Doors are opening. Frankford train making all stops. Doors are closing. Next stop, 2nd Street, a wheelchair accessible station for Penn's Landing and Old City restaurants and shops. Street Station.
Yeah, here you can get off and walk a little ways to Penn's Landing on the Delaware River. This is the last underground station.
Doors are opening. Frankford train making all stops. Doors are closing. Next stop, Spring Garden. For routes 5, 25, and 43, and Columbus Boulevard.
Going under the Ben Franklin Bridge here. Transit Authority here, down the median of an expressway. This is Interstate 95. We run on the median of I-95 for a short distance.
Spring Garden Station.
Spring Garden Street used to be a station on the old Reading, out of Reading Terminal.
Doors are opening. Frankford train making all stops. Doors are closing.
Traffic is always lousy in this area.
Next stop, Girard, a wheelchair accessible station for routes 5, 15, and 25.
And 95 leaves us here.
Girard Station.
Here, you could normally connect with the number 15 trolley. Used to run with a fleet of PCC cars. Runs out to the west end of town by the zoo and further. And the trolleys are out of service, but they expect them to be back in service by the end of the
Frankford
year.
train making all stops. Doors are closing. Next stop, Berks, a wheelchair accessible station for Route 3. Doors are opening.
Sir,
Frankfurt train making
is
all
Philadelphia the
stops.
oldest city in the United States? Is Philadelphia the oldest city in the United States?
I don't think it's the oldest.
Okay.
I know Chester is the oldest town in the state.
I'm talking about the city, sir.
Yeah, I know.
I'm talking about the city.
Yeah.
Uh,
I know it's been around since at least
A wheelchair
1776.
accessible
yes, because I
station
know
for
this is the
routes
first
3, 39,
capital of
and
the United
89.
States.
Lancaster, PA was for a day.
But
Lancaster, Pennsylvania for one day.
one day,
Yeah. Well, this area here we're going through, around York, Dauphin, this is where a lot of the scenes from the Rocky films were made. Mickey's Gym was down below. Adrian's Pet Shop was down below.
arriving station.
What the?
Discounting what my opinion might be of some of the actors, but the Rocky films are about some of the greatest movies ever made. In fact, Rocky 1 was one of the top movies of the 20th century. They were just great, iconoclastic, emotionally charged movies. Great script writing, great storytelling, great acting, wonderful
Doors
films.
are opening.
The fact that they were made in Philadelphia made it even extra special.
Doors are closing.
I think we were smoking before, nigga.
Ooh, sharp
Next
curve.
stop, Huntington, a wheelchair accessible station for routes 3 and 39 and Episcopal Hospital. Huntington Station. Doors are opening. Frankford train making all stops. Doors are closing.
Okay, here's an interesting spot.
Next stop,
Going over the
Somerset,
truss
a
bridge where the
wheelchair
tracks
accessible
separate.
station for
Goes
routes
over the
3
old
and
Reading Company
54.
Port Richmond branch. Not much left of it. Used to store a lot of coal cars down here. And about a mile or so to the left, alongside the north end of this old right-of-way, was Rocky's apartment house. Right
Somerset
nearby was
Station.
that corner where he met the guys singing by the fireside, going doo-doo-doo-doo, take it back, doo-doo-doo-doo. A lot of Rocky-isms in this area.
Look like you have the good old ball up there.
What's that?
Look like we have the good old ball up there.
Yeah.
Frankford train making all stops.
There's a lot of Rocky stuff in this neighborhood.
Rocky stuff, we about
Doors
that. We mean by
are
that.
closing.
Scenes where they were filmed.
Oh, you talking about the Rocky movie?
Yeah, right.
He didn't do it over the side, did he? He did it in South Philly.
No, he did some down by York Dolphin.
Oh, he did?
Adrian's
Next
pet shop was there.
Allegheny,
Mickey's Gym
a
was
wheelchair
there.
accessible
Right down there about a mile
for
was his
routes
apartment.
3
You work for Hollywood?
and 89.
No.
For your safety, do not walk between cars. The doors are for
a
emergencies
photographer.
only. Thank you.
Police officer?
Huh?
Police officer?
No. Retired.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Retired officer?
No, I used to work for an airline company.
Okay. Oh man, I don't know how to just stop.
I have a YouTube page.
You was what?
I have a YouTube page.
Wow. You have to be a very wealthy man.
Allegheny
I
Station.
wish.
I know you wish that.
Let's just say I'm thrifty to the point where I survive.
You have a good weekend, man.
You too, sir.
Yes, sir.
Stay safe. God
Huh?
bless.
Okay, you too. Do the same. We
Yeah.
all need it, don't we? We all can use it, can't we?
That's it.
Doors are opening. Frankford train
Hey, I got
making
some
all
friendly
stops.
patrons on this train.
Doors are closing. Next train making all stops. Doors are closing.
Ooh, noisy neighborhood. Okay,
Next
we're
stop, Erie Toysdale, a wheelchair accessible station for routes
Okay, we're
3
going
and 56.
up and over Amtrak's Northeast Corridor. And on the right, I don't know if you can see it, is the old Shore Tower. See the tower there? Unfortunately, that suffered a fire recently on July 27th. There's a big cathedral. Oh, I think I see it. I'm going to make a left-hand turn here and get a real good look at it as we pass it. It'll be on the left-hand side.
Erie Toysdale Station.
I forget the name of it.
Doors are opening. Frankford train making all stops. Doors are closing. Next stop, Church, a wheelchair accessible station for routes 3 and 5.
Yeah, Church is appropriately named for that stop.
Church Station.
Now you get a real good look at the church.
Doors are opening. Frankford train making all stops. Doors are closing. Next stop, Arrett Transportation Center. For routes 3, 5, 59, 75, 89, J and K, and Jefferson's Frankford Hospital.
What's the name of this place? I can't tell. But I know somebody who could give me the answer to that. Ghost engineer. I think he might have gone to church there.
Arrett Transportation Center. Doors are opening. Frankford train making all stops. Doors are closing. And last stop, Frankford Transportation Center, a wheelchair accessible station for bus and trackless trolley routes serving northeast and northwest Philadelphia and Bucks County.
Looks like they worked on the Frankford Terminal. Looks pretty modern. Got a big parking garage here. Going straight in.
Frankford Transportation Center. Last stop. Doors are open.